What's up? It's Ben from WODprep, and in this video, I'm gonna teach you the 5 most common reasons you're not making progress in CrossFit. So if you're anything like me, as a beginner, when I started CrossFit, I was getting PRs left and right. Every single time I showed up to the gym, it was some new achievement unlocked. It was some new PR. I was adding more weight to the barbell. I was learning new skills. It was amazing. But then, let's say 6, 7 months in, maybe a little bit longer than that, I started to notice that the PRs and the achievements and the new weightlifting records were few and far between. In fact, I actually started not hitting my PRs. So let's say I actually remember one day I snatched around 200 pounds, okay? And that was great, and I was a young college kid, and I had an ugly 200-pound snatch. And then I remember a couple weeks later, I did another 1-rep max snatch, and I barely got to 185, and I was devastated. I was like, what's wrong? Why am I struggling so much? In this video, I'm gonna teach you what I wish I had learned earlier on in my CrossFit career. And again, this doesn't have to be a career. This is whether you're a scaled athlete, an RX athlete, or an elite athlete trying to qualify for the games. All of these things are very, very true. So if you stick around to the end of this video, I actually have some free training I would love to send your way. And it actually is going to help solve 2 or 3 of these problems. So if you stick around to the end, I'll send you some free training. But first, let's dig into it. So reason number 1, you're not making any progress and you've hit a plateau is overtraining. Overtraining is a really common thing, especially for people who have just drank the CrossFit Kool-Aid. I remember I used to be there every single day. I'd wake up, look at the WOD, and want to go in and crush it. And it didn't matter whether it was Monday or Sunday. Every single day, 7 days a week, I was trying to get in and do something because I had this mindset of more is better. Well, it turns out for a lot of us, and maybe for you, overtraining could be a major issue. Unless you're consistently taking 2 real rest days per week and not feeling that sore. That's a common thing. If you're feeling sore and banged up all the time, that is a telltale sign that you are not taking enough rest and you're not hitting the right stimulus in your workout. So overtraining is a major issue because, as you may or may not have seen in previous videos, rest is the key to actually achieve gains. When I go to the gym, like if I'm over here lifting weights, my muscles actually get less fit. My body gets less fit in the gym because you break yourself down. The only way to get more fit is to allow yourself the time to recover and restore those muscles, and then they come back stronger. So if I'm always going to the gym and always hitting it really, really hard, I'm actually preventing those gains from being realized. The only way that you realize your gains is by resting, when you're sleeping, when you're drinking water, when you're actually doing some form of recovery, which happens outside of the gym. So with that, let's move on to reason number 2 you might be hitting a plateau. Number 2, no clear goals. Again, using myself as an example, or the thousands upon thousands of athletes that we've worked with at WODprep, if you don't have clear goals, it's hard to know which direction you're going. When I was a beginner in the sport, I didn't need goals. I would just achieve everything. Every time I'd show up, I'd say, oh, what's that? I've never tried that. Boom, new PR. Or, oh, I've only back squatted 3 times. PR, PR, PR. And I guess that a lot of beginner athletes watching this, you don't really feel like you need a goal because the goals keep coming to you. You keep achieving and achieving and achieving. But there's a certain point where you start to plateau where unless you have a specific goal that you're training for that brings clarity to your training, you will make progress in a million different directions, and that progress will leave you in the same exact spot. So if I sat here and I took a step in each direction, 1 step, I would end up in the same spot. Okay? So in order to achieve better results and in order to actually become a more well-rounded CrossFitter, you have to identify your weaknesses and then attack those weaknesses with very clear goals. So let's say I was mediocre at everything and really, really bad at squatting. If I just go to the gym and don't have any clear goals, I don't have any sort of squatting progression goals, then I'm just going to kind of dabble in every single movement. I might get a little bit better and my squatting might improve slowly. But if I focus my attention and do a little bit more accessory work on my problem area, which in this case example is squatting, then I can make faster progress and it's going to help me break through plateaus that inevitably come after a few months or a few years of CrossFit training. So the main lesson here is to identify where your weaknesses are and then set very, very clear goals to help you break through and bust through those plateaus in that specific weakness. Reason number 3, you are plateauing and not achieving your goals is you don't have a season. So as CrossFitters, if we truly want to improve at CrossFit, we have to think of ourselves as an athlete. I don't care if you're the most scaled person in the world. If you are trying to truly achieve a higher status and a higher ranking and a higher position in the sport of CrossFit, start treating yourself like an athlete. You know what athletes do? They train like athletes. And here's what I mean. An athlete, like let's use LeBron James as an example, because almost everyone knows who he is. He does not do scrimmages every single day. He doesn't play 5-on-5, high-intensity, playoff caliber basketball, or not playoff caliber basketball. He doesn't do that every single day, 365 days a year. That would be ridiculous. Well, what's crazy is that a lot of CrossFitters, they just do CrossFit WODs every single day. They do tests of their fitness and competitions in the gym every single day. That would be like LeBron playing 5-on-5 basketball against playoff caliber people every single day. That's ridiculous. You would never do that. Instead, what does a good NBA player do? Well, in the offseason, they probably focus a lot on their weaknesses and they develop strength. They don't necessarily play at a very high intensity, but they're trying to rehab their nagging injuries. They're really focused on getting nice and strong, probably doing some heavy lifting. And then they're also finding a couple skills that they really need to work on, like let's say free throws, and they're gonna hammer those really, really hard. And then in the mid-season, they start to transition to maybe less crazy heavy lifting and more focusing on the skills and trying to hone them into bigger parts of the game. So rather than just practicing free throws, maybe they're practicing a turnaround jumper, or they're practicing shooting right off of one dribble. Basically, the bottom line here is bringing this back to CrossFit. In the off season, you need to be focused on your big weaknesses, which for a lot of people, you need to be focusing on developing strength. That means less Metcons, less CrossFit style workouts, and higher strength focus and monostructural focus. Most training programs don't have this, but if you're truly trying to make lots of advancement in the game or the sport of CrossFit, we need to have very defined off-season, mid-seasons, and then late season. So the mid-season, we're gonna start to mix things up. We're gonna have maybe some Metcon looking stuff, but still trying to incorporate that strength, maybe into more compound movements. So rather than back squats and deadlifts, maybe now you're trying to actually integrate it into Olympic weightlifting. And then late season, that's the only time that we actually start doing WODs. And I know it seems crazy, but for a true athlete, LeBron James, he's not doing that many scrimmages necessarily in the offseason, maybe just for fun. But as the season comes on, when it's actually time for the season, that's when he's playing games. They're playing 80+ games per year of 5-on-5 basketball. That's when, as CrossFitters, as we approach the Open, that's when we start doing Metcons to really refine our ability to do constantly varied functional movement at a high intensity. So, long story short here, this mistake is all about you need to have a season. If you don't have a season and you just go do a CrossFit WOD every single day, then you're actually potentially causing a lot more plateauing than you should. Reason number 4, you are plateauing and not making any progress is you have no time and no space for specific skill work. Again, using this common theme of people normally go in, they do some strength, and they hit a Metcon. And that's great. That's great for general physical preparedness. It's what I do because I don't really have any CrossFit goals anymore, and that's fine with me. I love that for staying just healthy and fit. But if you're trying to excel in CrossFit, you need to leave time and space for very specific accessory work. If you're trying to get better at ring muscle ups, and you just go to a normal CrossFit gym that programs random workouts that maybe they get from some online program, how often do you think you're practicing ring muscle up accessory work? I mean, maybe once every 2 weeks if you're lucky. I mean, I'll be honest, for me in the gym that I go to, maybe once a month. And that's if I happen to go that one day of the month that it's programmed. So if you're trying to make progress on your ring muscle ups and you're only working on it once a month, that would be like trying to learn how to drive, but you only drive once a month. That's ridiculous. You would be a terrible driver, okay? It would take a long time to learn all the rules of the road and you'd frankly get in accidents and you'd just be terrible to be behind on the road. So with that in mind, if you have a specific goal like learning ring muscle ups, you need to dedicate 2 to 3 times per week to practice ring muscle up accessory drills. And they need to leave you in a non-fatigued state. It needs to be practice, not Metcons. So if the only time you're practicing your ring muscle ups is in the middle of a 35-minute beat down Metcon on a Saturday, then you're not doing it right. You're not treating yourself like an athlete that needs to work on these accessory movements. And the key with this accessory work that you need to be doing is you need to do it without extreme fatigue. So you need to do it on its own with intention, and you need to know what kind of drills to do to help unlock those skills, which obviously WODprep is all about. That's what half of my videos are about. And I also have courses to help you with that, but we'll get into more of that later. And then reason number 5, you're not making progress and you've hit plateaus, is you're not getting coaching. So I know right now you're watching a video of me and you might be sitting there taking notes. You might be internalizing, okay, here's what I need to do. I need to fix this. But in reality, unless you have a coach that's actually looking at you and helping you with your form and helping you with your technique, you're probably missing a lot of stuff that could easily fast track your progress and help you break through plateaus. And you might say, well, Ben, I go to a CrossFit gym. Yeah, my coach talks to me every day. And I'm not knocking any coaches. I love my coaches at the gym that I go to, and I think they do a phenomenal job. But when I was a coach, when I owned my own affiliate, you know what my goals were? My goal was to start the class relatively on time, end the class sort of on time, make sure that no one gets hurt and that people have fun. And very, very low on that totem pole was to work with each specific athlete on the specific skills and goals that they're trying to accomplish. Most of the time, you kind of give someone a proverbial slap on the butt, not a real one. You give them a slap on the butt and say, hey, good job, awesome work today, keep it up, love seeing you here. Or hey, chest up. Right? But little cues like that, generalizations, aren't necessarily going to help you fast track your progress. Imagine what it would be like if you could send a coach a video and say, hey, what's wrong? And then the coach says, wow, it looks like you should narrow your grip by 1 inch on each side. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to try to move the barbell this way. And I want you to put your butt here and your shoulders back. And also for your muscle ups, you need to do this, right? Imagine having specific video coaching. Well, what I want to reveal is that WODprep is here to help you solve all 5 of these things. I know, coincidence, huh? But seriously, these are the reasons that people hit plateaus, and it's also the reason why WODprep exists. Regardless of what programming you're following, WODprep has solutions to help you achieve more fitness and break through these plateaus and ultimately achieve your goals. If you want to get some free training where I'll send you some sample programming so that you can work on those accessory drills, then I would love to invite you to go to WODprep.com, and you'll see on that main page you can actually select which skills you want my help with, and I'm going to send you free training on those skills. However, if you're looking to solve the problems of not getting enough coaching, if you're looking to solve the problem of not having accessory work or not having programming that has a true season, then WODprep is here to help. And if you feel like you're overtraining, that means the programming that you're following is beating you up too much. Regardless of which one of the 5 reasons are, WODprep Pro is a new product that we're launching that is going to help you solve that. So in WODprep Pro, we actually have 3 different programming tracks, like complete programming tracks, that you can follow regardless of what skill level you're at right now. So whether you're a high-level competitor, we have a track for you, or if you're a beginner just trying to improve and not feel banged up, we have a track for you as well. And of course, we have one for masters. It doesn't matter if you're following a competitor's programming. You can literally say, hey, I'm doing XYZ programming. Yeah, it's a competitor. What's wrong with my snatch? And then one of our coaches is going to come in and coach you. So no matter where you're trying to get help at, whether it's programming, accessory work for your skills, or you need coaching, WODprep Pro can help you out, and it's one low price. So if you want some more information on how WODprep can help you break through your plateaus and fix these 5 things that we talked about today, go to WODprep.com/pro, and I would love to help you out. Yeah, our free training is good, and you can learn so much from WODprep completely free, and I love that. And there's thousands of people around the world that learn from us free. But if you want to truly take things to the next level and come experience what I think is the absolute best programming on the market, then come join us inside of WODprep Pro and see for yourself. And of course, everything's protected by a money-back guarantee. So come try it out, see if you like it, and if you do, great. If you don't, no worries. So I hope that you like this video. I hope that even if you don't join, you now understand the 5 reasons why you might be hitting a plateau. Obviously, I would love for you to come join us. Regardless of whether or not you do, please thumbs up if you like this video, thumbs down if you didn't think this video had any good content. Be honest with me. But I know for sure, after coaching thousands and thousands of athletes, these 5 reasons, if you fix even 1 or 2 of them, it's going to transform your abilities and the progress that you're making. So thank you so much for being here. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't. And last but not least, question of the day. If you had to pick one of the 5 reasons, what do you think is your #1 reason for hitting a plateau? Leave it in the comments below, and either myself or someone else will make sure that we respond and give you some insights in the comments. I'll see you next week.
Hey, coach. Yeah, oh, my back's a little tender. Oh, I did 22.17 times. Yeah, but it was worth it. I beat Tim over there by 1 rep.